Nature's Plate makes it so easy to eat healthy, and what you're eating benefits not only you, but the environment too. Find a location near you or order online. Go to naturesplate.com. That's naturesplate.com.
This song makes me want to have a cup of tea. Welcome back, everyone. You're listening to One Life Radio. This is Bernadette with Anthony Cernelia, Diamond Gray. We've got Jackie Schlegel in studio with us, Beth Reeder-Johnson, and we have Jeff Bennetzen. He's a Ph.D. on the line. We're talking about tea for tumors. Jeff received his Ph.D. in biochemistry from the University of Washington for studies of yeast molecular genetics. Since 2003, he has been the Giles Professor in the Department of Genetics at the University of Georgia. In 2016, he founded a second laboratory in the state key laboratory of tea plant biology and utilization. Dr. Bennetzen was elected a member of the U.S. National Academy of Sciences in 2004 and as a fellow of the American Association for the Advancement of Science in 2005. His laboratory is best known for its work investigating the very dynamic processes that determine the structure, function, and evolution of plant genomes. His current research interests include the genetics of quality traits like the taste and health benefits of tea and the role of the microbiome in plant fitness. I love that term, plant fitness. Such an honor to have you with One Life Radio. Dr. Jeff Bennetzen, thank you for coming in, or thank you for being on the air with us today.
My pleasure.
Okay, so tea for tumors. This is really, really fascinating science. So can I ask a very elementary question first, though? Where does tea come from?
Well, tea is from Southeast Asia. It was first domesticated, we believe, in China, in the western part of Yunnan province, and was consumed on plantations probably about, or was produced on plantations and consumed broadly in China by about 2,000 years ago, and then didn't really leave China and get grown other places until the British and the Dutch basically stole it from China and moved it to Indonesia and India for production there.
Wow, interesting. So what got you started in tea research?
Well, I was really interested in the way one can study improvement of a crop like tea. When you work on the kind of crops I normally work on, like maize and rice and sorghum, it's mostly about improving yield. That's the big question, making more at lower cost on less acres. But tea, it's all about quality. What makes tea important is the way it tastes, the health benefits. And so this is a whole different type of genetics, which I find especially fascinating.
Mm-hmm. Well, people hear green tea is so healthy for you, to tea in general, because it helps to keep you hydrated, along with a lot of herbal teas and things like that. But this article that you wrote for Nature magazine, Tea for Tumors, let's get a little more specific about this. How is tea research different from research on other plants?
Well, tea is a medicinal crop as well as a beverage that people enjoy to drink, and that's been known for literally thousands of years. The Chinese first used it as a medicinal, and it's known particularly, I think, by everyone for its positive mood effects. It's both relaxing and it also helps with focus, the same way caffeine does, although caffeine is not much of a relaxing agent. The compounds in tea, which include caffeine, it's one of the major components, but also the catechins and an amino acid called theanine, they both relax you and at the same time help you focus. So that's a mood factor that's pretty important in disease as well as in psychology. But also there are compounds there that are known cancer cell killers, which are very well documented in animal studies and in basic laboratory studies using cells in tissue culture. It's less well documented in human clinical trials for a number of reasons, I think, but it's certainly especially green tea has a lot of compounds that we all suspect are going to help prevent cancer.
Mm-hmm. Well, I bought a couple of boxes of tea back a couple of weeks ago. One of them is organic Hypnos Sleep Tea, a relaxing blend to calm the body and the mind, encourages sleep and may induce dreams. And it's got stuff in it like chamomile and calendula, I believe is how you pronounce it, or calendula. Is that
calendula? There's two different things, but okay.
Okay, and then lavender and hops and like all these different things. Then there's another one that I bought that says organic Hika Happy Tea that's got peppermint and lemon balm and calendula again, and then Damana or something like that. What is that?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of different things that people can mix in with tea. It's a great base flavor that is, as we all know, when you modify it with additional flavors, it has interesting effects and adds variety to the beverages you drink. Some of these are likely to be positive medicinals, that is useful for prevention. Disease. Others, we don't really know. No one's done the experiments. There's always a big issue of placebo effect. If people think it can help them, it often does. So, but in the case of tea, there's been a lot of research actually demonstrating in carefully performed scientific trials positive effects. A lot of these other compounds, we're not at that stage yet.
Well, the teas that I picked up are herbal teas. What are the different kinds of teas out there, and what do you feel are the most beneficial?
Well, the herbal teas, there's a huge variety, and I don't really know a lot about them. I work only on Chinese tea, which is the origin of most Indian teas, we believe, as well. And among them, the best demonstrated positive effects are from green teas. And they were first recognized as by the fact that people that drink a lot of green tea have low levels of prostate cancer and other types of cancer. The darker teas, the black teas, type you get in most tea bags here in the Western world, those still have a lot of compounds with positive effects in experiments, things like the catechins and theanine. These are still there, but they're in lower amounts than in green tea, and there really hasn't been a lot of data, a lot of information to support that anything but green tea is really particularly helpful.
Interesting. And so what are your research goals for tea?
Well, we'd like to know how the amounts of these medicinally and mood-wise beneficial compounds, how they're produced and how their levels are varied. The amount of these materials in any given cup of tea is incredibly variable, even with green tea, which is not processed much, but where you grow it, the time of year you harvest it, the different cultivars of tea, they all produce different combinations of levels of these compounds. They're always there, but they're there at different levels and different varieties harvested from different places and at different times of year. And there are, we believe, sort of optimal concentrations and optimal amounts, and these all affect flavor in unique ways as well. I'd like to understand how we can selectively identify the correct combinations and advise tea producers on the right materials, the right locations, the right environments to produce their best tea.
Well, let me ask you this, and it's the ingredient in green tea that's so beneficial is the EGCG, correct?
Yeah, it's otherwise known as epigallocatechin gallate, which is calls it EGC.
That's easy.
Yeah, it's a catechin, which is a phenolic. It has a number of positive effects. It alone can kill cancer cells and a mixture of cells. So if you have a tissue that's cancer and treat it with that, the cancer cells die off, and regular cells are not affected, as far as we can tell. And it also has reactive oxygen scavenging activity, so it takes reactive oxygen molecules, and these are associated with cell aging and with also with cancer, and it scavenges those and takes them out of out of the population of chemicals that are present. And so it has at least those two positive effects. We don't know in what kind of mixtures we have. It turns out a lot of these things interact, so the caffeine affects the catechin activity and vice versa, and so and the theanine as well, this other real positive compound. So there's a set of interactions yet we don't fully understand, and we also don't understand really thresholds for some positive effects, like the mood effects of green tea on decreasing dementia, decreasing depression. Those can be as little a cup of tea a day. In effects of these on cancer cells, you may need to drink 20 cups a day, which is like less convenient, and so many people have thought, well, what we need to do is make supplements.
Yeah.
Supplements with purified ECGC, for instance, seem to have some promise when you kick up the concentration of a tea extract itself, then there's actually some negative things. Too much caffeine, for instance, is not good for you.
Right. Well, the thing that's striking me here is that, when I think of when I even drink tea, that I'm consuming more water, and water is so beneficial. Even being mildly dehydrated can cause mild depression. I'm looking at another article here on mental health that was written in Nature magazine by Natasha Gilbert, Drink Tea and Be Merry. It says the minutia of how a cup of tea is able to lift mood, improve focus, and perhaps even ward off depression and dementia are being uncovered. So there's a lot of people studying this, but I have to ask you something. And as a scientist, I'm sure you know the answer. When I do get green tea, or I get tea when I'm out anywhere, like Starbucks, for example, I always worry about, number one, the type of tea bag, because some of the nylon ones have a lot of chemicals in them. Do they not? Or toxins, potentially? And especially when heated up so highly, does that, kind of like the styrofoam cup, when you drink tea or coffee out of that, it releases a lot of the toxins from the actual cup, along with, there's two things. Does heating up, green tea too much? Because I feel like at Starbucks, they heat their water up too much, especially when you ask for a tea. Can that destroy the effects, the positive effects of the EGCG in the green tea?
No, it can't. Not with boiling water. You have to really do a lot more serious treatment than that. It might decrease its availability a little bit, but not too much.
Okay.
With respect to you're right. How tea is prepared makes a difference, not only in its flavor, but potentially, although this hasn't been proven, in its health effects.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly, I wouldn't worry too much about the tea bags. You're right. Certain types of plastics can have bad compounds in them, but the tiny amounts you're getting in a tea bag, they've been tested for, and they're just not having any effects.
I always worry about the nylon ones, not the paper ones.
Yeah, well, the paper ones are certainly safe, and I think the nylon ones are as well. Of course, the classic Chinese person uses loose leaf,
right?
And they don't use the tea bags at all, and that's a little bit less convenient, but it actually produces a fine quality tea.
Yeah, I'm going to do what the Chinese are doing. I'm going to ditch the tea bag.
When it comes to tea, they certainly know their business. They can recognize. I can get a taste tester for tea, and when he tastes it, he can tell me where it's from, what year it was produced, and what the cultivar is, just like a wine connoisseur can. So the Chinese, they know their tea. There's no two ways around that.
Well, I thank you as a consumer for your research, Dr. Bennetzen. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Nice talking to you.
Nice talking with you too. Check out Nature magazine. I love it. I get it all the time. It's a little pricey, but it's worth it. It really is. If you're a science-minded person, you'll love it. Stay tuned, everyone. More coming up. We've got Jackie Schlegel and Beth Reeder Johnson. You're listening to One Life Radio.
Why drink the water from my hand? Contagious as you think I am.
Did you know that the U.S. Department of Health actually patented cannabinoids as antioxidants and neuroprotectants? So clearly there is promise for CBD to help with a variety of issues. Honest Hemp's U.S.-grown CBD system is fully tested for purity and safety. For daily balance, Honest Hemp has the best-tasting CBD tinctures available. Their Super Breath Blast delivers near immediate relief and relaxation while on the go. And the Magic Balm works wonders for your muscles, joints, and temples. So relax and feel better naturally with the Honest Hemp CBD system, available at honesthemp.com.
If you haven't heard, I'm always searching for ways to supplement magnesium. Magnesium is a vital mineral that enhances your natural cellular and electrical impulses to help you sleep better, smooth your muscles, and improve heart and brain health. Magnesium also helps you to become mentally and physically stronger and resilient to illness. Sun Warrior's Ionic Magnesium Complex is sourced from a non-GMO island seabed, concentrated by the sun and harvested naturally without the use of chemicals or solvents. We like to refer to it as yoga in a bottle, so pick up yours today at sunwarrior.com. That's sunwarrior.com.
Hi, this is Sean Wells, certified sports nutritionist, registered dietitian, and biochemist. One Life Radio and I are so excited about the launch of our Thorne dispensary. Thorne is the most used brand by medical practitioners as a result of its industry-leading quality control. Further, Thorne has a team of doctors, chemists, and dietitians formulating their products to be the gold standard. There are very few products I would personally endorse as a clinician, nutritional biochemist, and the world's greatest formulator, but Thorne is atop my short list. Visit OneLifeRadio.com to shop my hand-selected vitamins and supplements, including FloraPro LP Probiotic, Berberine 500, Methylguard Plus, and Resveratrol in optimized resveratrol.